good evening. We are here with yet another episode of the Author Collaborative. Let's wait for my guest to join so we can begin the session. Today I am going to be joined by another author whose book I have recently read and enjoyed. Her name is Namita Das, and I have read her book titled It's Puny. Hello Akash, thank you for joining. Hi, we have our guest here. I'm going to add her now so we can begin today's episode. Hello Devansh, thank you for joining. I am waiting for my guest to join the live. I have read a book of hers which was really fun and humorous. We are going to be talking about it in detail. Stay connected. Yes, we have her here. Hello.
Hi, how are you, Manali?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All good, all good. So I was just talking about your book that I have read. Can you show it to the audience first?
Yes. Here. This one. It's
Yes.
coming
So how do
later
you
on.
how do you pronounce the second word? It's puny or punny?
It's 1 second. What happened? Yeah, it's punny. I call it like
Okay.
the pun. So there are puns in this book, so I call it punny. It's punny. Oops, I mean funny.
Yes, so I was just telling the audience that I really enjoyed reading the book. It was a laughter right through and through. I either was chuckling or smiling all through the anecdotes that you have shared. Good evening, Devansh. Thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I had a few questions to ask you related to the book. Before we do that, I want you to read out a paragraph from the book so the audience is prepared for the questions.
Okay, well, so is there any specific chapter that you like, specific story that you want me to read, or
I really like the chapters where we are talking about the car. So any chapter where the car is mentioned.
the car? Okay, let me pick one for the car. Mm, let me see. Mm, Bear with me one moment.
Yes, no problem. So I will prepare the audience in the meanwhile.
Yep.
Namita, today's guest on the Author Collaborative, is going to read out from her book that I read recently. It's titled "It's Funny." Oops, I meant funny. Yes, let's go.
Okay, so I'm ready. So I'll read a chapter which is titled as Love Express. Okay, so the starting of this chapter, in fact, in every chapter I mentioned a quote. So the quote for this chapter is, "When a man opens a car door for his wife, it's either a new car or a new wife." It's written by Prince Philip.
I Before you go ahead, I forgot to mention this in my review. I really enjoyed the quotes that you have put in the beginning of every chapter. They're like they prepare you for the funny part that's
Yes.
going to come in the chapter. So
So
kudos on
it
that.
was.
I think a lot of research must have gone into that also.
Yeah, I had to like look out for quotes, and wherever I found that yeah, this matches my story, I was noting down everything before I collated all the stories into one single book.
Yes,
It
that
completely
was
sets the
really
mood.
yes, definitely it does. Yes, go on.
Okay. So starting, Mr. Husband called me around 5 p.m. inquiring about my schedule for the evening post office hours. I was planning to wrap up for the day in 30 minutes. Okay, meet me near the junction around your office. You know the one where the car showroom is located, he said. I said, sure, but what are you doing there? Oh, I came here for the car servicing. It will be done and ready by the time you reach. Fine, I'll see you outside the service center. Yeah, honey, let's go on a long drive and then we'll stop at your favorite restaurant for dinner. The flirtatious tone in his voice elevated my mood and I excitedly looked forward to a romantic evening. I finished up my work as fast as possible and reached the service center as promised on time. My husband came running and kissed hard, followed by a tight hug. Oh, honey, you look so beautiful today. You are glowing. I love you so much. And he kissed again. But he did not get any response. Wow, your cheeks are shining like the setting sun. So gorgeous. Again, there was no response. I missed you so much. Still, no response. I kept staring at him in awe. I can't live without you even for 1 hour. He failed to get any reply. I will never leave you here again, and he planted the hardest kiss ever. Yet, no response. Let's go on a long drive, just you and me. I intruded into his one sided romance. Baby, hop in. You also come along, he mumbled to me. I thought we will be out for a dinner date once the car is back from servicing, I said. Perplexed, he looked at me. Okay, yeah, right. I sat in the car agitatedly as he keyed in the engine. So, where next? He asked. Fuel station first or directly to the restaurant? Depends on who you want to date tonight, I said. There was a pause for 2 seconds and then I blurted again. And those are not cheeks, it's called bonnet. Mr. Husband is still trying to figure out who his favorite darling is.
That was one of my favorite chapters from the entire story because I understand, completely relate to this obsession with cars. My husband
Yeah.
is also the same. Yeah.
There's something, it's like one day, the first time we got our car, my husband was like looking at the car, gazing at it, and he's like, here, and I was standing in front of the car trying to take a selfie, and he's like, there stands two love of my life. He's like looking at like two love of my life, and I was like two, and then okay, he's talking about the car.
Yeah, very true. I think Devant has commented. He says, getting some mighty Mrs. Funnybones vibes from the writing and Adi Durjoy Datta from the title. Loving it. Thank you so
Ooh,
much, Devant.
thank you so much. That means a lot to get compared with such renowned authors.
Yes.
Yeah.
That brings me to my questions, which I have for you, because I mean, after reading such a funny book, it's not possible for a reader to not have questions about how it came about. So I have a few questions. Are you ready to answer them?
Sure.
Yeah. So it's a humorous book through and through. I know writing humor is not easy. We can be funny in person, but it's really funny, really difficult to be funny on paper also. So I want to know what was the most challenging part in terms of writing the book.
Um, this book, I did not have a lot of challenges because this book actually started as a, not this book, but it all started as a Facebook page. I was just like keen on writing and I had some stories, and these were like inspired from the daily events or were like true events. So I used to just jot it down and I posted it on my Facebook page. So honestly, I did not have any big challenges while writing this one. Yeah, the biggest challenge came when I was writing my next book, which was a pure fiction, where I had to plot everything and I have to think about what is going to happen next because it was not true. It was
Hmm.
all in my mind. So when we are plotting something which is a total fiction, we have to make it relatable for the readers. Otherwise, it's like just something, some fairy tale going on in my mind, and people don't understand what she's talking about. So, so at that time, I really faced a challenge. But this one, I would say it was just smooth.
So writing a book inspired from real life is easier than writing fiction. Yeah.
Yes, true, because you know what happened, right? But you just have to, whatever you observed or whatever you experienced, you're just putting it down on paper. So that doesn't give you a lot of challenges. It's not that tough, I would say, even if it's humor or
Hmm.
thrill or mystery or whatever. So I did not
Hmm.
see a lot of problems when I was writing it because it was just like I heard that joke or I heard that punchline. I was just putting it down. That's it.
Yeah, but then you also need to be really observant in order to do that. I mean, you have to
Yeah.
be quick in terms of
Yeah.
not only observing the humor that came out, but also making a note of it.
Yeah, and it's also about how you look at the situation. Like, are you trying
Yeah,
to pull humor out of it, or you're just getting like angry, like with this car
yeah.
thing that happened.
I think I
So
have mentioned this in my review also that there are problems and differences between all couples,
yeah,
but how you choose to look at it, that's what
exactly.
makes all.
And this relationship is the best kind of relationship in all the kinds of relationship because you can pull out humor. You have that banter. It's not
Yeah,
even in the closest friends that you're going to get this kind of banter that you're going to get within a lovey-dovey
exactly.
couple.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Okay, that brings me to my next question because I know you have written a good book. I have enjoyed it, so I'm very sure that people who have read it, all the many thousands and maybe probably lakhs of people who have read it, they also loved it. So I want to know from you, what was that one feedback or review that made you feel like, wow, I have done a good job?
See, the motive of writing humor is whenever someone tells me that, yeah, your book made me smile, or I was laughing throughout the book. That is where I feel that, yeah, I accomplished this mission. My basic thought behind writing any humorous piece is that the person should smile. So one of the best compliments that I received was from one of my readers who called me after reading my book, and she said that my book helped her fare through her hectic situation. It was just during the pandemic when this book was published. So it
Hmm.
was like her husband and her daughter. Both of them were infected with COVID, and she was very sad, and they were isolated. She was sitting alone in the house, and she did not know what to do. And at that
Hmm.
time, she picked up this book. She read it and she said it was, I was smiling throughout the book, I was laughing at many places, and it really, put a sense of positivity in her, and she felt like, yeah, there's a perspective of looking at things. So why not look, there's something good that is going to come out of this situation also. And that is where I felt that, yeah, like a distressed person is able to smile when he or she is reading this book. That is the best compliment I can get. It's not like when you're in a good mood and you're reading a humorous piece, you're going to feel fine after that. But when you're depressed, you're feeling sad, and at that point, if these stories, any one of the stories, can make you smile, then it's an achievement for me.
Wonderful. Congratulations on receiving such a huge compliment. I know
Yeah.
it means a lot. I mean, the purpose of writing is so that's what you feel when you read
Yes.
such things and such feedback from readers. So congratulations. And I do hope you
Thank you.
continue writing and giving us such books.
Hopefully.
This brings me to the last round I have for you, which is the rapid fire round. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Just a second. I have the questions here. Okay. I know this is difficult because it's difficult for me also. So, if you had to pick short stories or novel, pick one genre as a reader and as a writer.
See, as a writer, I think I am made more for short stories, because even like if you read It's Funny, it's a short story. The second book that came out, Who Ate Our Food, it's also a novella. It also comes under short novels. So as a writer, I started as a short story writer, but then I have a dream. I want to see my books in the bookstores globally, on the airport or some crossword store or somewhere. I just want to see my book over there physically present, and people are picking it up. So for that, I cannot go ahead with short stories that I know very well. I need a like full-fledged novel, like good
Hmm.
200 to 50 pages book. So right now I'm working on one novel where I think I might be able to achieve what I dream of. Let's see how it goes up, but I'm hoping to do that. So right now, I would say novel for writing. Reading, yeah, I have a short attention span. Not short attention span, but it's like I don't like to dwell a lot into a
Hmm.
thing
Hmm.
or a story. And if I take a lot of time, like if I take around 2 3 months to read a single book, then I don't think it's going to catch my attention. So anything that I have, it has to be like finish it fast. So for as a reader, I like short stories. Other than that, if it's a classic, then maybe I'll prefer to pick it up. But I normally refrain from picking up books that are more than 200 pages.
Ah, totally understand.
Yeah.
Spoken for all of us, I'd say.
Yeah, that's true. Nowadays it happens, and that is one thing that I feel that this digitization has ruined our attention span. That
Yes,
that is the
definitely.
problem. So because of this, whenever I'm watching TV, I'm also having my phone on the other side.
Yeah,
So it's like I'm not focusing on one single thing, and I'm
yeah.
really working on that thing. And I think everyone should work on this thing, that they should focus only on one piece at a time, one thing at a time.
Yes, let's hope we can achieve that. Which brings me
Yes.
to my next question. A recent incident that you felt could have made a good chapter in the book. The
You
book that
know,
we are talking about.
but it's funny. I really dream like one day I should be writing a sequel for this book with these characters, Anu and Mr. Husband and Mr. Tots. And since my son is growing now, I think I have a lot of stories. But then one story that I can add, if ever I write a sequel, is something that happened today morning. So my husband and I, we were talking about pens. Like I was writing something, and this was the pen that was lying on my desk. And he was saying that this technology of pens has not changed ever. When we were children, at the time also, it was like ink and a nib and everything. So this has not changed with technology. And then we started talking about ink pens, like how we were having an ink pot and we used to put ink in
Yes.
the pen. And then from there, the conversation went to the type of pen. So when we were children, at that time there was a expensive pen that used to come. It was 25 rupees
Pilot pen.
at that time. No, no, not pilot pen. It was a ink pen, but it was like Hero China pen something. So
Okay.
we got into a conversation, and then we were slightly into a debate what it is called. Is it Hero pen or is it a China pen? So I said, let's Google and find out what it is called. So he just like typed in China pen in 1980s, and for sure that pen came up. Then I was like, oh, it's called China pen, it's not Hero pen. Then I just like peered into the screen, and manufacturer was Hero. So then again we got into an argument that who exactly won? Was it China pen or Hero pen? And then suddenly I noticed that that pen is being sold as a vintage pen.
Wow.
Okay, on indiamart.com, and I felt that we have become so old that the
We are
things
vintage
that
now.
were so fascinating and exciting for us as children, that is become vintage. So like we are old people, we are vintage, we are becoming ancient. So
We are vintage. We should also be put in museum.
we, yeah,
90s
exactly.
के
And I
बच्चे
felt
ऐसे
like
होते
we
थे.
have aged so much that the things like I owned that kind of pen, and that is vintage now. So why the hell did I not? So that would make
Definitely.
a very nice story for my, it's funny. Oops, I've been funny.
Yeah,
If I ever have to
definitely.
put it,
Definitely.
it was
I'm looking
really.
forward to more such. I think you should put out a sequel to this book every year, so that you have at least 5 to 10 incidents from the entire year, which make a good compilation in the book.
I hope so. I hope so.
Devansh is saying, I have a 50-page test for novels. If you can't get my attention within the first 50 pages, I know it will likely be a drag here and there. Very true.
Yeah,
Yes, the
true.
first
That's
50
true.
pages. And
Yes.
he says, for a novella, it's the first 15 or 20 pages. Yeah,
Yeah, for any story, basically the start or the initial 2 3 pages also, it will
you
tell
know,
you what is going to happen. Yeah, it
whether
also
it is
depends
promising
on
or
the
not.
yeah, it also depends on the writing style. Sometimes the story is good, but the writing style is not something that you love. So you might not want to go ahead. And then there are some books where there's a lot of typos and grammar and spelling mistakes,
Hmm.
and that is a
That's the
big
biggest
turn
turn
off.
off.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, even if the story is good, I don't want to go ahead because
Yeah.
reading that kind of piece is going to impact my writing style.
Ah, yes,
It
that's
is
one thing we don't realize while we are reading books which are not well written. We don't realize
yeah,
that that impacts our writing style also.
exactly. It is going to impact like your sentences when and the way you talk also it is going to change. You
Yeah,
are also going to speak in broken language. You won't understand what you're speaking.
true. Okay, my next question to you in the rapid fire is a character in your stories that's named after someone you know in real life.
In this book,
In any
or
of your books, or in any of your
okay.
books or stories.
So my children's story book, King Little Cuckoo. That's my son. It's not only the
Yes.
character in the book, even the title is named after him. So
Right.
that
I
that's
forgot about
that's
that. Right. Hmm.
yeah. So that's the first children's book that I have, and that was basically so it started as a bedtime story for my son, but then when I was making that story for him, I thought why not put it out to the greater good. More kids like him can go ahead
Hmm.
and read that story. So that is where it came out. So I don't know. After this, I haven't written any children's story, but let's see if I can create some more stories like that. But then the character, Cuckoo, is there.
Cool. Right. Okay. Writing or selling? The more challenging part about being a writer and why?
Selling, of course. See, writing. See, writing. I love writing. So it's going to come naturally. It's going to come easily. I can do courses. I can have mentors. I can talk to people. I can improve my writing. But I am not a salesperson. So it will be very difficult for me to go ahead and, in fact, initially when I started, it was so, I felt, I used to feel ashamed even to ask someone, will you read my piece or will you read my blog? So it was, I felt conscious, like, why should I go and tell someone? What will they think if they don't like it? If they tell on my face that they don't like it, can I take that
Hmm.
criticism? So so I have grown through all this, so now it doesn't impact me if I, even if I get a 1 star or minus star, it doesn't matter. But then selling is something, as a writer, I feel that I still have not mastered it. Mastered what? I haven't even done anything good in trying to sell my books. So if someone is coming to me and asking for advice how to sell or how to market, please, I am not the correct person. Please don't ask me how to sell the book. I can tell you how to write, but I cannot help you sell it. So it all depends on, for me, word of mouth. Like you said you loved it. People are watching now, they know that you loved the book. So maybe someone out of this audience is going to go ahead and pick the book, and they'll, so that way,
Yeah.
maybe that pyramid model, MLM thing, you refer to, they will refer other to. So maybe that
Right.
way this book will sell more.
It will definitely, and it deserves to be read by many more people. So let's hope this reaches out to
Hopefully.
more people and more people are able to read it.
Yeah, and
And
it's only
with,
been like 1 year, 10 months. It was Jan 2021 when it was released. So
okay,
it has a lot of age. I think it will go for next 10 years. So it still has time.
definitely. Why
Yeah.
just the next one? Very very long.
I'm giving it 10 years. Maybe like in 10 years it will catch up. I don't know. It's just like one, it's not even 2 years now since this book is published. So what
Yeah.
what am I looking for? Like, I'm not that a celebrity kind of writer. I'm not a celebrity. I know that overnight I'm not going to, my book is not going to get success. So I have patience. I'm waiting. Something will click.
That's such a positive outlook to have. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And with that, I come to the last question I have for you in the rapid fire, which is one thing that you should think millennials can learn from Gen Z and vice versa.
We are millennials, right?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah, we
again
are
I come to
millennials.
that age point. We are millennials.
We are vintage. Let's
Yeah.
maintain that.
So Gen Z, if you're listening, try to, have as less gadgets as you can. When we
Hmm.
started, when we were children, we did not have any gadgets. Forget phone. Even phone, I got my first phone when I started my job. It was like when I was 22 years old. That was my first phone.
Hmm.
And nowadays, children, like, even when they are 2 years old, they have like one tab, one
Yeah.
something iPad or something in their hand. So Gen Z, please limit your gadget use and try to like focus on other things. And if you're looking for content, if you're writers, then look out for content outside, not
Hmm.
in your phone. Okay, look at the trees, look at the sky, look at the lake, look at the person sitting next to you. Okay, what sometimes I feel very sad when I am sitting in a group and then people are like taking a picture, everyone like, yeah, come on, let's take a picture, and after the tick, 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 they have to post it first. घर
Rather
जाके
than
करो ना.
enjoying the moment, they want
No,
to,
enjoy the moment, and I
immortalize it first.
understand. No, I understand that urge. Even I am a social media buff. I want to do that. It's like I want to put it, but no one cares at what time you're going to put it. Like, if I
Exactly.
am having dinner with my friend at 8 p.m., I take a picture and I post it at 10 p.m. after it is done, or next
Yeah.
day 8 p.m. No one cares. It is just that, yeah, you put it out, but it's not necessary that it should go at that moment only. So why
Right.
not use that moment with your friend? Why are you, wasting that time looking into
Hmm.
your phone? And then it does not even end at posting. Once it is posted, they want to like, kitne like aaye,
Yeah, you
kitne
want
comments
uh,
aaye.
कितने देखा
Constantly
वो
checking. What? No, no, Devansh, I'm not attacking
even
you.
though I am technically a millennial, but okay.
But no, I'm not. See, because these things I personally have also done, but I realize that it's not correct. We have to live in the moment, and more because I started writing. When I started writing full time, I realized that if I have to look for content, it is around me. It is not into
Yes.
this piece of this box. It's not into that. Content is outside. So I limited, even one day I told you, right, I'm limiting my social media usage. I only like check
Yes.
for 30, 40 minutes. I don't go beyond that. So that was the best thing I did to myself for my mental peace.
Yeah, yeah, it's very
And
nice.
yeah, and the
You
other way
need
around,
a
right?
technical cleansing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other way around, what we can learn. Yeah, if, of course, it's not like only the elders pass on messages to the younger ones. What I can learn from these Gen Zs, confidence. They're very
Oh,
confident. Yeah, they even you look at these influencers or who are like 20 in their 20s, they are dancing openly, they're speaking their mind out, and they're not afraid of anyone. That is one thing that we can learn from this Gen Z,
yeah.
that if you have something in your mind, put it out. Don't be afraid of anyone, just go. Even for startups, you see these young people, they are trying, they are at least taking that plunge. I at my time, I don't remember that I had that confidence that I'll go and do some business. I was like, mummy ne bola padhai karo. Study. I never had that thing that no, I have the confidence. I know this can work, or if I'm a failure, it is my choice. I failed and all. No, I did not have that. So this is something that I learned from these younger people, that be confident in what you're doing. What is this? That is true. I haven't posted it, but when I did, most of the engagement I did get was after the first 12 hours. Sometimes even, that is again algorithm. You that is a artificial intelligence robot sitting behind doing something. You don't know what
Oh,
they are doing. So even if you think that I got the engagement after 2 years, two sorry, not 2 years, 2 days or 12 hours. No, some people get like, there
two
are
years
some posts.
also. 2 years also
two
works
years
for
back,
sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah.
2 years back, the people are liking it. I don't know, some kind of stalker or something, but there are people who like your content. So again, algorithm you cannot beat. It is not a person, so you cannot get into the mind of that algorithm and find out what they are trying to do.
Yes. So that brings me to the end of my questions I had for you related to the book and the rapid fire round. Now I leave the floor open to you.
I am not going to let you go that easily. So now everything gets reversed. So read a poem. Read a poem for us.
While I open the book, you can continue. You can talk to Devansh. I think he might have a few questions for us.
He's too
Devansh, if you
interested.
have any
Like
questions,
I
please
think
ask.
the most engaging audience in this life.
Okay, so I am going to read out a poem that I really liked, enjoyed writing. It's called
Okay.
M for Mischief.
Mm-hmm.
It was a poetry form that I tried for the first time and it was really fun. I'm
Okay.
just
Let's
trying to
let's hear it
locate
out.
the poem.
Oh. I know that is the difficult thing, when someone asks you to read, you're just like flipping pages, you're not able to find where did that poem go.
Yes, I found. So the poem is
Okay.
titled M for Mischief. प्रोग्रामर्स
Mm-hmm.
के पीछे पिचफॉक्स के साथ मराठू मैराथन
Marathon run.
भागेंगे भागेंगे तेज. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a poem titled M for Mischief from my book, A Piece of Your Mind for Peace of Mind. It goes, ask for the out of ordinary, ask for the absurd, absurd for the ordinary, absurd for your kicks. Kicks the soul, kicks that make you laugh. Laugh out loud, laugh alone or with others. Others might not enjoy, others do not matter. Matter of your happiness, matter that satisfies. Satisfies once in a while, satisfies the curious mind. Mind that feels, mind that wants novelty. Novelty in words, novelty in action. Action defiant, action playful. Playful demeanor, playful words. Words that make smile, words that create joy. Joy sometimes, joy not for all. All do not understand. All unacceptable. Unacceptable to boring. Unacceptable for sticklers. Sticklers for obedience. Sticklers of norms. Norms means rules. Norms lead to dullness. Dullness, sadness. Dullness, less happy moments. Moments to create memories. Moments to enjoy. Enjoy life. Enjoy like a child. Childlike innocence. Childlike curiosity. Curiosity to learn. Curiosity to try. Try something new. Try something never done. Done for some laughter. Done to bring joy. Joy, laughter.
Beautiful. And it's such a nice format, where you are picking the last word instead of going that typical rhyming scheme. You're just picking up the last word and starting a new
Yeah.
sentence. It was really beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and the
Deja
last
vu
word, it
moment.
was like childlike innocence, childlike curiosity. It was beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Devansh is saying, ooh, ooh, deja vu moment. So what deja
That's
vu?
nice.
Hmm? No, that, no,
Oh
that
yeah, I
happens.
think I
But when you,
this poem in a previous live also. That's why maybe he's saying deja vu moment.
oh, yes, 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 just still ask though the poem. Yeah. No, even she is captivating. Don't try to be
Thank you.
so, politically correct. The poem.
Yes. Thank you so much, Devansh. You are making the life so much more interesting.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so what did you do next to me? You had like long form questions, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so okay, so I'm going to throw two long form questions to you. Okay, so what was your most favorite poem while writing this book? You said M for Mischief, but I would like to know like some
So
other
M for
poem that.
Mischief was the one I enjoyed most writing because it's so catchy and playful, even while you are reading it. So when
Yeah.
I was writing, it was really fun. The other one, I think it was related to the emotion of worry, and it's
Mm-hmm.
titled Potion, something like that. Wait, I'm forgetting. Wow, I'm forgetting my own poem titles
It
only.
happens. The other day I forgot the character's name, and I was telling someone the story and I forgot what are my characters' names.
I remember the emotion that it portrays. Uh, it talks about the emotion of worry.
Mm-hmm.
It's titled Slow Motion Potion. So
Slow
I have
motion.
taken the poetry form of epitaph in it, where you have to write a poem as if you are writing an epitaph for something or someone. So I have written it in the form of rest in peace, my dear worry. So I have written it in that
Yeah.
format. That was
Yeah.
really really nice and enjoyable. I was like, okay, go to hell, worry. पेट का फेवरेट भी यही था ना शायद M4 हाँ उसका भी फेवरेट यही है आई थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर लाइकिंग दिस पोएम अ
No, please, no internal talking. Okay, I don't know whose it is. No, this internal jokes and all here.
लॉट ओके लेटर
All right. So, what inspired you to write a poetry book? Because the last one that I read, it's also a short story, and before that, also you have written short stories. So,
so yes
where did this inspiration come from?
Uh, so I have always been a writer who writes stories and blogs which make people feel good. I have always believed that your
Yeah,
writing should spread out a positive message and
nice.
make people feel like they are not alone in feeling what they are going, even if their experience might be a little unique. Obviously it is unique, and how you react to a situation is also different from person to person, but I have always focused on writing things that make people feel like they are involved in the whole thing. So I and poetry has also always been something that I have always included in all my books. So I was like, can we include the two things? That's how the poem came about. And when I was thinking about feel good things, I was like, why not focus on something that can bring about positivity and spread message about mental health also? Like it's okay to have emotions that are negative, like anxiety, fear, panic. So I focused on emotions that are basically what we conventionally call as negative emotions like fear and anxiety and all of that. And that's how the book came about. I was like, sorry, ma'am. Devanshi saying sorry, ma'am. Because
You hurt me. Your question hurt me. This person is going to block me today.
no, he's very sweet. He won't do that. Devanshi, please don't do that. Give Namita a follow. Don't do this.
No, so okay, coming back to that poem thing. So that's a very good thing that I noticed in your book, that you have picked up emotions which normally are getting labeled as negative. So people refrain from talking. Now there's a lot of awareness around mental health, but it's very nice to see, write-ups or poems where they are describing such emotions, like people have anxiety, people feel sad, people feel empty. So it's okay to talk about it. So that was a really, you know best thing that one could do, and thanks for
Thank you.
that.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy that it resonated with you, and that
Yeah.
was the purpose. Yeah, whoever is reading it will not should not feel like having negative emotions is a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's just the way to you react to it and accept it.
Yeah, because I am a person who doesn't understand poetry. I'll be very honest. So those heavy words and rhyming lines, and sometimes it becomes very difficult for me to grasp that what the poet is trying to say. It's not that it's nothing against the poets, but that's my shortcoming. I don't understand. But your poetry was different. It was freestyle, and there were just like reading at those lines, I could understand. ये मेरे साथ हुआ है. Yeah, I understand.
Wow,
So
that's nice.
relatable, so it was really nice. So I try not to read poetry, but then when you suggested at least try, so it was like, okay, let me read and let me see. And I was like, that was a good thing that I did. Like I finished it in two days, and one of the good things that I did was I read your poetry. So your stories, I know they are very relatable and they're very feel good, but even your poetry does the same thing.
Thank you.
So
Thank
I'm really, really glad that I picked up your book.
you. So, Devansh is saying, of course, following her right after this live. बस follow back भी कर देना.
देखा जाएगा.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, coming to the last bit of this live, we are going to do a rapid fire with Manali. So,
Yes.
first
Okay.
question for
Bring it
you.
on. Hmm.
Okay. First question for you. Do you Google yourself?
So I didn't used to do it, but actually, let me confess, I don't Google myself. I Google my books. उससे पता चल जाता है मैं आ रही हूँ कि नहीं Google search में.
हाँ,
So
हाँ.
I Google my books, and also because Google shows you the ranking of the book, and you see the reviews, how the ratings are, what is the average rating, so all that. And for me, I have always believed that my books matter more than the person that I am. At least professionally, my books should always be a notch above the person that I am. So if I have to Google, I'll Google my books, not myself.
And your books are what you are. So basically, it
Yes.
becomes the same thing then. Okay, next question is next question. So the first story or first poem that you have written, is it published somewhere or is it still like in your diary or in your drawer somewhere hiding somewhere? The first one, very first.
Very first one. No. One of the very first poems that I wrote was in my school time. And uske baad, a lot of the poems I wrote were for people. Like birthday poems and anniversary wishes and all that kind of thing. That cannot be published, yeah. That was like very childish.
Why not? Why not? Manali, the 8-year-old Manali wrote a poem, and this is here for the world to read. Why not? It's a very good niche.
I don't
We
think I
should try.
have that. I don't think I have the copy of that of those poems also, because as I'm saying, most of them were written for people on their birthdays and anniversaries and festivals and that kind of thing. So if the people who I wrote them for have it, I will be happy to put them up on social media and share everywhere. But I,
That's a big task. Then
yeah,
you will write new poems in that time. The effort
yeah.
you'll put, like, मेरा poem है क्या?
Yeah, and it sounds so like desperate. यार तू अभी इतनी बड़ी author हो गई है. Like at least the people who know me think that I'm a very big author, which is not true. So, but they will think in their mind, तू इतनी बड़ी author हो गई है, तुझे वो poem क्यों चाहिए अब and all that. So,
मैंने लिखा है, मुझे चाहिए. But then again, it's a very, big effort to call everyone and ask, चलो छोड़ो,
yeah.
कोई बात नहीं. Okay, so what are you reading right now?
So I just finished a book titled Just an Awakening, and it is a collection of short stories. It's a really good book. My review will be up soon. So you'll
Who has written that? By?
I'm forgetting the name of the author. I'm so bad. Geetika, yeah,
Okay.
Geetika Bakshi. Jashn
Okay.
an Awakening by
I'll
Geetika
check
Bakshi.
it out. I'll check it out after this live. Okay, so next question. What was one surprising fact about you that you found out while you were writing?
That I can be funny on paper also. I know I'm funny in person, but I didn't know that could come out in my writing also. That was really surprising.
So I have company. I have humor writers. So at least because I always keep being told that how do you write humor, it's so difficult. So no, I can say I have company, I know people who can write humor, so I'll take
Yeah.
your name for sure next time. Okay, so the last question, what do you hope that readers are going to take away from your book?
Just as I said, my motive is always to make people feel like they are not alone in whatever. So I hope that message is coming across, and even though the experiences of everyone are different, I I know somewhere somebody has gone through it, and it can have some amount of relatability. That's what I hope for.
Relatability is definitely there. I can vouch for that. That if someone reads your book, they are going to relate with it. That is for sure.
Devansh is saying, I have not written a book yet, and people refer to me as writer sab and editor sab.
No, but if you have not, so even if you're writing a piece or even if you're writing a caption, you become a writer technically.
हाँ, people who know you will always say, हाँ हाँ तू तो बहुत बड़ा ये हो गया. So,
Arey, someone messaged me and asked that how much have you earned from your first book? Bank full? And I was like, क्या बोलूं मैं इनको अभी मतलब कहाँ जाके
अच्छा
मुंह छुपा.
exactly.
People think that I am some kind of, millionaire, billionaire now that I have written like two, three books and कहाँ अभी मतलब स्विट्जरलैंड में पूरा रह रहे होंगे पता नहीं. What to what to say?
Yeah,
People
but
and their imagination. These people should write books.
हाँ पता चलेगा मतलब not just the process which is very difficult of course, but also the process of selling the books which is even more difficult.
No, for more than that, I feel for their creativity, their imagination, that they have
Uh,
such weird imagination that a person writing one book can become a millionaire. So why not? You write, you have such good
I had
imagination.
read this meme somewhere. वो दिमाग में आ रहा है because of this conversation. It said that बस उतने ही पैसे चाहिए जितने लोगों को लगता है कि मेरे पास है.
हाँ, सच में उतने मिल जाए कम से कम. No, people don't understand the hustle. Like you are sitting in a closed room and you're trying to write, you're trying to focus. It's not easy as it seems, because
Yeah,
you there's a speed or there's a language in which you think, and then you have putting it on paper. Your fingers might not be at the same pace like your mind is running, so
yeah,
it's not as easy. Moreover, after we write, we have to go through editing, we have to take creative liberty, we have to make it relatable. Otherwise, again, you will come and say कि क्या लिखा है. We have so many errors and this is not relatable, so we have to go through so much. And then after that, we don't, I wouldn't say that writers earn a lot right now. Maybe, like, I don't know exactly, because I am not earning a lot.
exactly. Let's be put it out. होंगे लोग जो बहुत कमा रहे हैं, हम नहीं कमा रहे हैं.
होंगे, I'm not saying no, but I am, ठीक है, तो मुझे, I don't ask me. But then I can only tell you that it's not as easy as it seems. Like, even if I had 4 5, you're already six, I think six are out. So
Yeah,
it is not an easy thing to break, put out that your work outside for people to read,
yeah,
and then waiting patiently that what people are going to get out of it, or criticism kaisa aega, are they going to like it, or are they going to just give me negative reviews, or maybe I might get blocked by someone because I offer, because nowadays you cannot speak without offending someone. There will be someone
yeah.
who will get offended by one line. Even in this live, maybe people might have been offended.
That's sure.
Huh.
There will be someone who will be like,
Who
you should
did
have.
not like what, one
Ah,
sentence or one word that we did not like, but that's okay. So in today's world, you cannot speak without offending. So wo maturity bhi hona to, like, it's okay if someone feels bad, it's okay. I don't owe an explanation to anyone. So it's again not easy.
right. And with
Easy.
that, we come to the end of today's live. Thank you, Namita, for joining me one more time. I had a lot of fun. I think I was laughing most of the time. And a special shout out to Devansh for being such an
Yes.
enthusiastic participant.
Yeah. Thank you, Devansh, for making this live even more livelier.
Yes.
More
This
livelier.
video
What
will
am I
be
saying? See?
wow, and we are supposed to be authors. Yeah, okay.
Hey,
The
but
editor in Devansh will be like, okay, I
इन, इन,
I have a
अब
few
इन्हें
things for
बताता
you.
हूँ. It's like finding mistakes in my book now.
So yes, this video will be up on my Instagram and on my YouTube channel, and those who have missed it can always go back and read it. Devansh is saying most aren't. Recently, I believe it was Chikki Sarkar who openly admitted that most of their releases aren't crossing the 4 to 5K mark, despite having the big names attached. Yes, true. Writing and publishing is not going as well as it should. But ठीक है, we
Blame
strive to
digitization.
continue.
Blame digitization, I'm telling you.
Yes.
Mobile, like my mom used to say, mobile ko aag laga dungi. So this is what is happening. Like with this Instagram reels and everything, people have lost focus. They don't want to read. So that is where it is showing, that people
Yeah.
don't want to read books now. So it's all a cascading effect.
We can only continue to put in our efforts and hope for the best. और तो क्या ही कर सकते
Yeah. No, and then the other thing is that with kids, maybe we can be careful that I am an early reading advocate. So I always tell people not people, kids that what books to read. I go
हैं.
and recommend books to parents that ये book अपने बच्चे के लिए खरीदो.
हाँ.
Let them
This,
read.
yeah.
Even if you are not reading, I at least give hacks that what you can do that your child starts reading. So
हाँ.
maybe we can do this reverse psychology where if not this middle generation has forgotten reading or they are not interested in reading, the next generation that is coming
Hmm.
up, maybe they'll be interested in reading. So let's
Yeah,
see what happens.
that's a good point, Namita. Thank you for suggesting that. Yeah, a lot of parents who might listen to this, please pay
Yeah.
attention to what Namita has said and inculcate that reading habit early on, so that uh, creators like us don't have to
Yeah.
struggle to make money. you know,
True.
uh, Creativity gets its due.
Yeah. True.
Okay, thank you for joining me today, and to everyone who was able to tune into the conversation. And you can always go back and listen to it on my YouTube channel and my Instagram page. Uh, I hope. Oh, Devansh has said something. Wait.
Makes me
Uh, 10th grade history teacher's comment. She said, writing can't be a full time profession in India, beta. At the time, I was just plain hurt. Now I kind of get it. Yeah,
that's
a
true.
lot of the things that our elders said to us in our childhood, we considered as a joke. Now we realize
Yes.
it was true.
But then we have to take this as a challenge,
Yeah.
that most kids have this tendency to, oppose their elders or teachers or whoever is telling them, ये तुमसे नहीं हो पाएगा. So you have to take this as a challenge and prove them wrong. So maybe
Hmm.
we can do that.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yes, we can and we must.
Yeah. We must.
Yeah. Okay, Namita, thank you and good
Thank
night.
you so much for inviting
Oh,
me.
good night. I think we are both in different time zones and we are doing this for people who are in a completely different time zone. So,
It's 3 p.m.
good,
here.
good
What about
afternoon
you?
to both of us and good evening to the people who are listening in India.
Yeah. So it's 3 p.m. here. I think in India it will be for 5:30.
Yeah, so good evening
5:30
to them.
p.m. Yeah, good
And it's
evening.
afternoon for both of us. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Okay, thank you.
have a good evening and the rest of the day. A good night.
Yeah. Chalo, bye. It was nice having
Okay,
you
happy
and
Friday.
yeah, happy Friday. Bye.
Happy Friday. Bye bye.